The first Splinter Cell games, 1, 2 and Chaos Theory are really the peak of stealth action redefined, because the action you do matters.
That was deep. Is this another video essay about capitalism?
The peak of stealth action? Dude, you really lost it this time.
Hey, you both agreed to this, okay? So play nicely.
Fine.
Okay, but you promised me that mango ice cream.
The first installment came out in 2002. Mind you, little fun fact, this was the year that after 9 years finally The Sims has overcome Game Mist from 1993 in sale.
Hey, that game is old like you.
I think he is talking about you, John.
Yeah, well, it is 30 years ago, and Mist sold roughly 6 million copies, which is a lot.
Now that's a lot for a stack of pictures lined up in a row.
It was created in Macintosh application called HyperCard Software by brothers Rob and Robin Millers.
Definitely. We Are the Millers was a top movie. Wait, you guys are getting paid?
And guess who bought the rights as a publisher in the early 2000s?
Ubisoft.
Yeah, 2002. You're old. Let that sink in.
It is also the same year as its counterpart classic Metal Gear Solid 2 was released.
My name is Pliskin. Iroquois Pliskin.
But for Splinter Cell and our French friends at Ubisoft, it was their first installment for this franchise. This was really the uprising of 3D games, and I was in my prime gaming years, meaning 10 years old. The perfect gaming age you could start.
Wait, your parents let you play violent games as a 10-year-old?
Not really setting a good example here.
My father was a programmer, and same as your parents love television, we love the TV too, but also interact with the animated pixels.
Well, good for you.
And because there were a lot of copies of me around the world who had the luxury of having console or PC within almost the same age, we didn't know how to play games back then.
You should have played outside just like I did. Sticking stones and playing as a cops and robbers on our bikes.
And how did that went for you? Now you are commenting 20-year-old game.
We were interacting with the real world. What was so fascinating about this game? What was that different with Splinter Cell 1?
I played FPS shooter games, but stealth mechanics? This was still new waters for me in the gaming world.
No way, a stealth mechanics in a 3D game?
It means if you get spotted by enemy, you have to try again.
Exactly, and the closest I got to stealth mechanics was in classic point-and-click game, isometric Commandos 2, Men of Courage.
But that's a topic for a whole new other video.
Wait, another 20-year-old game. Are we seriously going to cover only nostalgia games?
Take it or leave it, Tony.
Okay, I have to admit that the controls and movement animations are way too cool to be made in 2002.
When you walk, your little pouches lift up a little bit. The texture of Sam Fisher, and especially his back shoulder, is superb. For his age, he is in perfect shape.
But what is most special about his walking is something that developers really don't do nowadays.
Well, they do, but not for PC.
Because in Splinter Cell, when you want to walk faster or sprint, you adjust the speed by scrolling up or down your mouse button. Or the wheel button. Or the wheel.
I saw this mechanic in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, but a modder had to patch this feature in.
This is exactly what I mean. The console games, because of their joysticks on controllers, they can adjust the speed. Where's the justice in that?
Developers, please, we don't need changing gun with mouse wheel. Please, get this implemented into PC games, at least for the PC ports.
I really don't get why the developers don't implement this nowadays.
And you have to wonder why you cannot keep up, or you are way too fast for your NPC while dialogue walkthrough.
Great mechanic, but this was 2002, and you know what? I didn't have a mouse wheel back then. That's how old this game is. And you want to know the most disturbing fact?
Wait, you didn't have a mouse wheel?
Was that even a thing? A mouse without a mouse wheel?
I didn't know how to rebind it to anything else. I don't even think you can. Now it's funny looking back at this, what a nightmare it could have been for other players, and you couldn't sprint because right in the second mission you get to this balcony where you have to jump across.
Well, good luck with that without the mouse wheel adjustment.
Can I get a popcorn for this? Oh, you didn't save. Oh, what a bummer. Guess you have to do the level from beginning.
My 10-year-old brain had to redo this whole mission again? Do you know how long it took me to get here?
Well, if you speedrun it, it's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, but for me, it was like 30 minutes. Gosh, I miss these days. Hey Ma, can we time travel back 20 years again?
Now let's talk about the third-person view.
I know. I mean, again, talking about how was it back then, but that's the whole point. This retrospective. It's not about how this game holds up now, 20 years later, which is, if I could summarize in one word, magnificent.
With widescreen patch and HD textures from PlayStation 3, this is perfectly fine game. Why?
With great art style, That's how you make games timeless.
But my point is, the third person was just coming out, and this was definitely for me the first, prettiest third-person game since it's running on Unreal Engine.
Which even today has insanely beautiful graphics.
The tutorial mission perfectly fits with the training in army or special ops boot camps.
Same as in real life. Here you will find the examples of real-life experiences that tries to prepare you for your real field missions.
Quite frankly, I really forgot how many movement mechanics are here really. You have the basic jump on the wall and vault over, climbing up a pipe, a zip line, hugging a wall. This serves best to conceal yourself even more, or to see beyond the corner, or better said, peeking around the corner. Split jump, my personal favorite.
Just a shame there are not that many instances where you can use it.
But when I get a chance, I gotta use it.
The brilliance of stealth mechanics is really that it serves as a navigation path throughout the map, which to some degree is dynamic. Since not all areas will have shadows, where you can hide, but if you are lucky, you can create your own shadow.
The NPCs are roaming around, yes, but it is predetermined route, and you have to solve the issue how to get around them. Now, this is what can differentiate two types of playstyles.
You mean commando style or sneaky style gameplay?
The latter requires more thinking and usually takes you more time.
But what even not my kid brain could comprehend was my older brother's playstyle. Like, if you can shoot the guards, why wouldn't I try to sneak when I can eliminate my problem?
But isn't the whole point of playing a cover agent being covert?
Also, this reminds me of third way of playing. Have you ever heard the term speedrunning?
In speedrunning, you are trying to cut corners in game coding and try to finish it as fast as possible.
It's a complete joke. Speedrunning is the most degenerate act man has ever come up with.
I tried speedrunning myself, and I'm a world record holder. Yeah, I bet you didn't even know that you're talking about that one-time world record champion.
But you are the only one in the leaderboard? What's the point?
Shut up,
Tony. I even tried to learn the speedrun this game, and from time to time you can see me use the mechanics of the speedrun.
The most obvious one is the silent run. You achieve this by tapping the crouch button on and off, and the result is you have running speed, but walking sound.
Now that is some high-level IQ move right there.
So instead of eliminating the enemies, I tried to eliminate the lights and create new routes. No, peace was never an option bullshit. That's not how I like to play stealth game. It really adds up to that nostalgia when I played it back then.
The most groundbreaking mechanic was definitely the lighting system. Even to this day, it still isn't a standard in the industry that you can shoot out lights.
Well, I totally get it, but it's funny that something so obvious and groundbreaking is still not a standard. Can you imagine what Splinter Cell remake with RTX could have achieved?
Ubisoft, what's taking you so long? Yeah, remake should be on the way, but with current state of Ubisoft and how they fucked up Sense of Time, well, it didn't came out, but they changed studios.
Which is always a good first impression.
So I highly doubt that there's Splinter Cell remake in progress. Or maybe, you know what, scratch that. I hope I'm wrong. One of another mechanics the game has is its detection of hidden bodies. Now for the player's eyes, it is introduced in the training grounds via the guard that is guarding. Sorry, my English is not Shakespearean, but it gets the job done. And the result?
Hide bodies and shadows and you will be good.
But technically, the game has a system of predestined checks. Once you cross the check trigger, the whole map area that you have left will be scanned. If anybody you left there will be visible, you will be detected. I think it has to be hidden within the first 2 sections of the shadow meter and it's good. If it's above that, you are usually screwed. Lambert will call you off and you have to redo the section or a mission.
The guards have a 3-stage system: unaware, suspicious, and aware. With this in mind, you can easily play with these 3 states and what will the guard do or check.
You can fool the guards by items that you can interact with, like glass bottles or Pepsi cans, which you can throw and distract the guards.
Guards also serve another use for you, and that's intel by interrogating them.
Wait, how you make the guard to spit out the secret, highly classified intel?
Well, Sam has a great convincing skills.
Hi there.
Hi.
You're not going easy on me, are you?
Not so tight. That hurts.
Sorry about that. What's the door code?
28469.
It was a pleasure working with you.
Likewise.
The great example of AI behavior can be seen right here. To give you the context, it's a glass, but there is a locked door by a code. Well, what do you do when you see a Black Ops, probably a US soldier? Well, you open the door, but that means you have to enter the code and then open the door. And what do you do when you open the door? You lower your gun.
Sometimes if you listen very carefully, you can hear my genius.
And all this movement and story is set in incredible interactive environment.
Now I'm gonna say it again. All this is set in an incredible interactive environment.
And what do I mean by that? Does it have portals?
Well, not quite, but it all feels so natural for you as a player. The first thing that had to definitely blow your mind, if you played it back then, is the cloth physics.
Just remember, this was released 2 years before Half-Life 2, the father of physics engine.
Until then, the physics were just really basic, just like in kindergarten.
It's not just moving cloth, you have little items around that you can use to your advantage, such as empty cans of Coke or empty glass bottles.
Not gonna say battles instead of bottles now, will you?
Now a question. What does a bottle do when it hits the ground?
That's right, it makes a sound that can distract a nearby guard and force him to leave his predestined path or guarded place.
Now it's a very simple mechanic, but it creates many possibilities how to approach different situations and areas.
For example, in the CIA mission, I tried my best to distract the guard, but for some unknown reason, he always noticed me by a blink of an eye and spotted me.
Well, maybe if you wouldn't be standing right under a ceiling light in an otherwise completely dark room, then maybe he wouldn't have spotted you.
So I tried at least 7 times with the same result.
Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing.
But you know what? I changed tactics and in the end I decided I would just crawl behind him.
And you're telling me he didn't hear the sound of the door. Well, that's immersive.
Yeah, sometimes the sound cues for doors work for enemies, but sometimes they don't. Or maybe I'm just lucky. I don't try to question my script.
When you shoot out TVs or big displays, it detects the area you shot, and the display cracks really close to that spot.
Simple, but yet effective. This can really immerse you into this world, as in, like it's really you. The actions do matter, I take it back.
And it's all intuitive. You don't have to really think how physics works, like in Portal 2. Where you have to learn the physics. So when you are slinging down the wall and you have a glass in front of you, well, of course I can shoot the guard through the glass.
But can you also shoot it out and rope inside the room?
Now let's talk about the shadows.
Yeah, sometimes it's glitchy, like you are most definitely not visible, but you are. Other times you are in a shadow, but obviously, I am very visible.
It is still a game and 21 years old, mind you, so yeah, it's not perfect.
There are some very challenging spots where you have no clue if you are seen or not. The most annoying part was when I had to listen to these 2 goons, one saying he needs to go to the men's area, but clearly I was hidden, right? Oh no, I wasn't at all. Oh wait, I was just off by few centimeters.
Did you talk about the aquarium yet?
The aquarium? Don't tell me that they implemented an interactive fish tank.
Now you gotta love this, because my 10-year-old kid brain, it was so fascinated about this.
If you shoot the aquarium, a small flow current of water comes out, but what is genius? Once the water comes to the point of the hole, the current slowly stops.
Now that is really mind-blowing.
Now if this cannot convince you that this game is brilliant, then I'm sorry, but get some help.
Immersion within the gameplay elements is also kinda neat.
And from the CIA mission you also get added the heat vision. And I'm no programmer, but to add program how the heat sinking works, that has to be definitely another layer, because you see the pipes that has either hot airflow or hot liquid going through them. You can see the Sam's vest dims the heat distribution. With the 7th mission, you get a freezer area with frozen meat and enemies, and this location forces you to see a division only. But you can use the other, but you will see jack shit. Do you understand any of that?
So what do you think? Leave a comment if you want us to continue explore the other installments, Pandora, Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory.
Like the video if you think this series, video and game, are really nostalgic.
Yeah, and subscribe if you want to see me argue with another 2 AIs. Again, Boris the video, Johnny Roo anything. Okay, see you another time.
And until the feds get here, find a better hiding place.
God damn it!
Fisher, you're gonna like this.
It makes me nervous when you say that.